Hello everyone, welcome back to Atreyu Crochet. So in today's video I am going to be showing you how to crochet these 3 back to school items. First we have a pouch that you can open up, put whatever you want in there and then close up. Next we have this butterfly that can be used to decorate whatever pen or pencil marker you're going to be using. And then we have this pen pencil holder with this button. You can just open up, put your stuff in there, and then close it, and it has a little handle. So let's get to it. Things you will need include 3 different colors yarn. This is medium 4, or if you want to make all of your accessories just one solid color, that's fine, in which case you'll just need one color. One skein is more than enough. You need a crochet hook. I'm using a size 6mm J, that's US. Medium 4 normally calls for 5 to 5.5mm. I use a larger hook because of my tension. Use what's best for you. You're going to need a button, okay? And you're going to need a darning weaving tapestry needle. Make sure that your needle can fit through the holes of the button or you're going to run into problems, okay? You'll need a pen, okay? You'll need a stitch marker. If you don't have one of these, then you can use a paper clip, you can use yarn of a different color, you can use a safety pin. And then lastly, you're going to need a pair of scissors. Let's get started. We'll start out by making a slip knot. Take your yarn, wrap it around your finger that way, twist exchange, wrap it around your finger that way. Pull this one over that one and off your finger while lifting up on the one on your finger. Insert your crochet hook and pull to tighten. So you want to chain an odd number of stitches. For the pouch that you saw, I chained 17. For this one, I'm just going to make it smaller and I'm going to chain 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now I am going to insert my crochet hook into the 3rd chain from the hook. So here's the hook, 1, 2, 3, right in there. And I'm going to make a double crochet. So yarn over, 1, 2, 3, go in, yarn over, pull through to the front for 3 loops, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2. Yarn over, go into the next chain and put 1 double crochet going through 2 loops, okay? Yarn over, go into the next chain, yarn over, pull through to the front for 3 loops, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2. Continue putting 1 double crochet in every chain and I'll meet you at the final chain. I'm now at that final chain right there, so I'm going to put my double crochet into it. And now in that same chain, I'm going to put 2 more double crochet. The reason is because we're going to start to work our way around this way, and then we're going to be working in the bottom of these double crochets. So put 2 more double crochet in that same chain, that same final chain. That's 1 and then 2. And now we will start placing double crochets on the underside of these stitches. So kind of rotate it. Alright, so we have these 3 double crochets in that final chain which is there. We're going to put a double crochet in there, okay? So yarn over, just go in there, the same chain where these 3 double crochets are, and you can lay that tail on top and crochet over it now so you don't have to weave it in later. Okay, so 1, and now we're just going to start putting 1 double crochet across from each of these double crochets. So we're going to mirror. This one mirrors that one, and now we're going to this one. So find the double crochet, go to the bottom of it, and put a double crochet across from it, like that. Alright, and I'm crocheting over the tail. Here's the next one. double crochet, and there's the bottom, so that's where I'm going to put a double crochet. You're going to notice this is going to kind of fold like that. That's what you want. Yarn over, here's the next double crochet, find the bottom there, put the tail on top so that you're crocheting over it, and just continue doing that. Double crochet, go down to the bottom and put a double crochet there. Okay, here's the next double crochet, go to the bottom, there's the bottom of it, put a double crochet. Here's the double crochet, go to the bottom, put a double crochet. Okay, here's a double crochet, go to the bottom and put another double crochet. Okay, so we're almost at this final one right there. Okay, and we're going to put 2 double crochet into that final one. So yarn over, here's the final double crochet, going to the bottom, and we're going to put 2 double crochets. So 1, and then back in there again for the second one, 2. Alright, since this is a corner, we're going to put another double crochet in there like that to round the corner, just like this side. And now we're going to bypass those 2 remaining chains that were left when we crocheted into the 3rd chain from the hook, and we're going to slip stitch into the first actual double crochet. So we're going to slice the icing off the top of the cake and slip stitch, pulling all the way through. Now we're going to chain 2, which does not count as a stitch, it's just used to get us up to the height. Okay, and then we're going to go back into that same place where we slip stitched, and we're going to put a double crochet. And now we're going to use that stitch marker I told you that you needed. Right there. Alright, so now we're going to start the crisscross stitch, okay, the cross doubles. So yarn over, we're going to skip the next stitch and put a double crochet in the one there after that one. So yarn over, skip 1, go into 2 and put a double crochet, and then yarn over to prepare for the double crochet and go into the one that we skipped, like that, and make your double crochet, and that creates the cross double, the crisscross stitch. Alright, the next stitch is that one, so we're going to skip that one and we're going to go into that one and put a double crochet. No chaining, just go right into the double crochet like that. And now we're going to put a double crochet into the one we skipped. So just go in there, slicing the icing off the top of the cake as you see, yarning over, pulling through to the front for 3 loops and completing the double crochet like that. Yarn over, skip 1, go into 2, and then go back to the one you skipped without losing your loops. Alright, skip 1, go into 2 like that, and then go back and put a double crochet into the one you skipped. Alright, so now this is the next stitch over here, that one right there. For these sides, we're just going to put 1 double crochet. We're not going to do a cross double. So yarn over, slice the icing off the top of the cake and put your double crochet. And then we're going to do it for the next one, which is there. Slice the icing off the top of the stitch, which is there. Okay. And then we're going to do it for the next one, because remember there are 3 over here. So go in there, slice the icing, put your double crochet like that. Alright, and now we're going to start our cross doubles again. So skip the next one, which is there, because you see this one is in that one. So this is the next one. We skip it and we go in there for the cross double. So put a double crochet there. And then we're going to go back to the one we skipped, which is there. Okay. Skip the next one, go into the one thereafter for the double crochet, and then go back and do the one that you skipped. Okay. Yarn over, skip the next one, go into the one thereafter, like that, and then go back into the one that you skipped. Okay, so it's creating that cross double effect. Let's do it one more time. Skip the next one, go into 2, and then we'll go back into the one we skipped, which is there. Alright, you see this is kind of creating that pouch. Alright, so how many do we have left? Well, we have, don't be deceived, that one we already have a stitch in. So we have that one and that one and that one. So that's where we're going to put our 3 regular double crochets, no crisscross. So just go into the next one, just like the other corner, put a regular double crochet, go into the next one, put a regular double crochet, go into the next one, put a regular double crochet. And now we're going to slip stitch to that first actual double crochet where that stitch marker is. Okay, so slice the icing off the top of the cake that's marked by the stitch marker, like that. Chain 2, and now we're going to repeat what we just did. So take the stitch marker out, put a double crochet in that first stitch where the stitch marker was, and then we'll start our cross doubles. Okay, and it's easy. This third round is easy because you can see exactly how to crisscross. So yarn over, we skip that one, we go into the second one, and then we go back into the one that we skipped. And by the way, don't forget to put that stitch marker back on that first regular double crochet there right after the chain 2. Let's do it again. Skip, go into the second one, then go back into the one that you skipped. Okay, so your cross doubles should stack up on each other. And you're going to continue doing that all the way around. Don't forget that when you get over to the corner where you just have the 3 double crochets, no crisscrossing, just put 1 double crochet in each of them, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there, and then you'll resume with the cross doubles till you get back around here. Okay, I will meet you once I get there. Alright, you guys know I spoil you. I'm at the corner. Just want to show you this one more time. So I just finished the last cross double before these 3 regular double crochets. I'm just going to put 1 regular double crochet in each one, so no crisscrossing right now. So 1, 2, next stitch, 3. That gets me around the corner, and now you see I'm ready to start these crisscross stitches again. So skip 1, go on to 2, go back into the one I skipped, and that places a crisscross above that one. Skip 1, go into 2, and now go back into 1 for the crisscross. Skip 1, go into 2, and then go back into 1 for the crisscross. Skip 1, go into 2. Make sure you're only slicing the icing off the top of the cake. We don't want any other cake. And then go back into 1 for the crisscross. You can see how they're stacking up. Beautiful. Alright, now we're at the 3 regular double crochets. So in the next stitch gets a double crochet. In the next stitch, that gets a double crochet. In the next stitch, the final stitch, that one gets a regular double crochet. Okay, and now you guys, we're back around. So we'll bypass the chain 2 like before and slip stitch into the first actual double crochet. If you don't know where that is, find your stitch marker and slip stitch there. But the stitch marker helps you to identify it. Chain 2, and then we're going to put a regular double crochet right into the same place where we just slip stitch, right where that stitch marker is. We'll take it out right away this time and then put it on the double crochet that we just started. And now we're going to continue, okay, for round 4. So you're going to do this for, if we look at this pouch, if you want to make it this high, you can do it how many ever times you want, but I'm going to show you how to change colors just in case you want it to be kind of like this one. So for this one, that was the first row, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds in that blue, so I've completed 1, 2, 3, so I'm going to do 2 more, and then I'll check back in to just show you how to change colors. Okay, so complete, if you want to make it this tall, complete 5 rounds in the first color, and then on that 6th round we'll change colors. So I have my next color ready. I've made that final double crochet, and now I'm going to bypass the chain 2 as normal, and I'm going to insert my crochet hook into the stitch with a stitch marker. Then I'm going to yarn over and pull all the way through like that. Alright, now I'm going to hook on the new color. For me it's white. Pull it through, and then I'm going to pull on the blue so that loop disappears. And now I'm going to tie a couple of knots between the tail of the white and the blue that I'm now about to drop. Okay, so 1, 2. Alright, I'm going to line up the white with the blue tail, and I'm going to cut them down. Cut the blue. So now I only have the white. The white is the only yarn I'm working with now, the only yarn that's connected, and I'm going to proceed as normal. I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, and in that same place where I slip stitched, so I'm going to put a double crochet. I'm going to crochet over these tails so I don't have to weave them in later. I'm going to transfer the stitch marker as normal, and now I'm going to start my cross doubles. So yarn over, skip 1, go into 2. I'm laying those tails on top so that I can crochet over them like that. And now I'm going to go back and put the double crochet into 2, just like every other round. Okay, and now I'm working with the new color. Skip 1, go into 2 with the tails on top, and then go back into 1, the one that we skipped. Skip 1, go into 2, the tails on top, so I can crochet over them if possible, without splitting your yarn, of course. And if you run out of the yarn to crochet over, you can always clip it down. Now go back into 1, like that. Okay. Skip 1, go into 2, and now go back into 1 for the cross, like that. Alright, and now we're in the corner with those 3 double crochets, so just 1 double crochet in the next 3. That's 1, next stitch, 2, next stitch is 3. And now you guys, we're back to the cross doubles. So skip 1, go into 2, and then go back into 1 for the cross. Skip 1, go into 2, go back to 1 for the cross. Skip 1, go into 2, go back to 1 for the cross. Okay. Skip 1, go into 2, and then go back to 1 for the cross. And I think we're at the corner now. Yep, for those 3 double crochets. So 1 double crochet, the next 3, that's 1, next stitch is 2, the next stitch is 3. And now we're going to bypass the chain 2 as always because it doesn't count as a stitch. We're going to slip stitch right where that stitch marker is, slicing the icing off the top of the cake, and then pulling all the way through, chain 2, and then in that same place we'll put a double crochet. And now we'll relocate our stitch marker. Okay, so that's how you change colors if you're wondering, for you beginners. Okay, so in this one I did 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds of the second color, so I have 3 more of the white, and then I did 1, 2, 3 rounds of that third color. So do 4 rounds of the second color, 3 rounds of the third color, and then I'll check back in at that point. So I have my 4 rounds of the white, and then I did 2 rounds of that maroon color, and I've done, yeah, 2. So I wanted to get on just a little bit early because I forgot to tell you that that 3rd round of that final color should be just a row of double crochet, no crisscrossing. Okay, so I slip stitch, chain 2, put a double crochet in that first stitch where I slip stitched. Okay, right, this is where I slip stitch, and that's also where I put the double crochet. And now I yarn over to prepare for the double crochet, but instead of skipping 1 and going into 2, I'm going to go into 1, and then I'm going to go into 2, and then I'm going to go into 1, and then I'm going to go into 2. Okay, so no more skipping, no more crisscross. This is just a row of, or round of double crochet in every single stitch, and you'll understand in a minute why I am doing it this way. Okay, I can do it the other way, but I think this way is a little bit better. Check back in momentarily. I'm now back around. I put my final double crochet in the double crochet below, and now I'm at this chain 2. I'm going to bypass it once again, and then I'm going to slip stitch in the double crochet and pull all the way through. Chain 1, I'm going to cut my yarn, and then I'll fasten off. Now I'm going to grab my darning weaving tapestry needle, and I'm going to weave in this tail just to kind of hide this yarn. So just go through some stitches in one direction like that. If you pull your work too tight like that, just stretch it back out, reshape it the way it was. Okay, and then you'll take a slightly different path so that you don't undo what you just did, going back in the other direction. And you can do this how many ever times you want until you feel like your yarn is secure. Okay, and then cut your yarn down without obviously cutting your work. Alright, so now it is time to add the drawstring, and basically it's just going to be a series of chains. We're going to make a line of chains long enough to wrap all the way around with a little bit hanging on the side. So let me get the, I'm going to use blue yarn. I like to use the first color. You could use white, or you can use the same color as this. It's your preference. Make it your own. So grab my yarn, make another slip knot, just like before. Insert your crochet hook, pull to tighten. And now we're just going to start making chains until we get enough to wrap around our pouch. I'm not even counting. I'm just paying attention to how long it is and comparing it to this. Okay, so just keep going, and you can make yours super long if you want, you know, or you can make it just enough. Okay, so I'm not quite there yet. A few more. Alright, let's see how it's looking. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so like that. I'm going to do just a couple more. Alright, and now I'm going to chain one more because I'm going to cut my yarn and then fasten off like that. Alright, so as you see, this wraps around now with just a little bit hanging off to the side, the chains. Alright, so now we're going to grab our darning weaving tapestry needle, and you're going to feed it through, feed that tail through the eye of the needle. And now we're going to start working in these stitches, okay, in and out of them. So here's the chain 2 there. Okay, so I'm going to go under the chain 2 and that first double crochet, and then I'm going to go over the next 2 double crochets. So over that one, under 1, under 2, over 1, over 2, under 1, under 2, like that, and you can start to pull like that, and then we're just going to continue in this fashion. So over 1, over 2 to the back, under 1, under 2 to the front, over 1, over 2, just on the other side of 2, go to the back, under 1, under 2, just on the other side of the 2, come back out to the front. Okay. Over 1, over 2, just on the other side of 2, go to the back, and then under 1, under 2, just on the other side of 2, come back out to the front. Okay. And that is sufficient. Okay, this is enough to close up our pouch. So now we want to line these up, line the chains up so that they start and end at the same point, like that. Okay. And then we want to, you can stretch this back out to make sure that they're lined up. If the chains are longer on this side, just pull on that side to kind of get them lined up the way you want. Okay. Alright, now we're going to tie a knot. But before you close it all the way, kind of scoot it down so that it's closer to the chains, like that. See how I'm scooting it down? There we go. And now you can cut these down so that they're of equal length. Alright, and now we have our pouch, you guys. Let me zoom out so you can get a better view. But yeah, this is it. So isn't this a cute little pouch? You want to close it up, so you put your stuff in it, you close it up, just grab like that, and then they hang down. As I said, if you want these drawstrings to be longer, you can chain more, but I think this is ideal. Alright, on to the next back to school crochet item. You're going to start out with a slip knot, so wrap it around your finger, twist exchange, wrap it around your finger the other way. Pull this one over that one and off your finger while lifting up on the one on your finger. Insert your crochet hook into the hole and pull to tighten. And now we're going to chain 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Into the third chain from the hook. So here's the hook. 1, 2, 3. In that chain we're going to put a double crochet. Yarn over, go back to that third chain, insert your crochet hook, and make a double crochet. And now we're going to put 1 double crochet in the remaining chain. So here's the next one. Put a double crochet. The next one is there. Put a double crochet. The next one is there. Put a double crochet. And then we have one more, and we'll put a double crochet in it. Alright, so row 1 has, if you count the 2 chains that were left by crocheting into the third chain from the hook, these 2 chains counts as a stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Row 2, chain 1 into this same stitch that chain 1 is coming out of. That's where we're going to crochet a single crochet. Okay, that chain 1 does not count as a stitch, so turn your work. We're going to go back in there, single crochet. You don't yarn over, you just enter. So slice the icing off the top of the cake, yarn over now, pull through to the front for 2 loops, 1, 2, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2. Alright, next one, slice the icing off the top of the cake and put a single crochet. So that's 2 single crochets. And we're just going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch across. 3, 4, single crochet, 5, and then in the top chain of those 2 remaining chains, just go in there and put a single crochet, and that's your 6th stitch. Okay, that's row 2. Now you're going to repeat rows 3 and 4. Okay, so chain 2, 1, 2, and now we're going to reintroduce the crisscross stitch because we want our back to school items, crochet items, to match. So we'll turn our work this way. Alright, this chain 2 counts as a stitch, and it counts for that first single crochet there. So that is taken care of. Here's the next stitch. You guys know from the previous section that when we do the crisscross, we skip the next stitch and go in the one thereafter. So we skip one, go into two, and that's what we're going to do. It's a double crochet, so yarn over, skip one, go into two, slicing the icing off the top of the cake and making your double crochet. And then we go back and put a double crochet into one. So yarn over, go back to the skip stitch and make your double crochet. Alright? This is the next stitch, so skip one, go into two, make your double crochet. Yarn over, go back into one and make your double crochet. You should have a total of 6 stitches for every row. That chain 2 counts as a stitch, and then that's 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that means on the end you should have one more stitch for the 6. So we'll go in there, slice the icing off the top of that single crochet and make a double crochet like that. So that's row 3, which you're going to repeat from here on out. But first we have to repeat row 4 as well. So chain 1, the even rows are the rows of single crochet. So chain 1 just to get us up to the height, but it doesn't count as a stitch. Go into there, that very first stitch, and put your single crochet, and it's just one single crochet in every stitch across, maintaining 6 stitches. Okay, you don't want this to grow, meaning you don't want it to get any wider and you don't want it to shrink. Okay, and just always that final single crochet goes into the second chain up. Alright, now it's time to repeat row 3, the crisscross stitch. Crisscross rows are double crochet rows, so that should tell you have to chain 2, 1, 2, turn your work. And now, as I said before, that chain 2 counts for that stitch. This is the next one. We skip it and we go into 2, which is there. Go back to 1. Skip 1, go into 2. Now go back to 1 for the crisscross. And then the final single crochet always gets just a regular double crochet. Slicing the icing off the top of the cake. There's your aerial view. And making your double crochet. Okay. So right now I have 2 rows of the crisscross. 1, 2. Okay. You want 13 of those crisscross rows, and then you want to end with a row of single crochet, at which point we're going to change colors. I'm going to change colors to the white. Okay, so right now this is the first crisscross row, that's the second. You need to keep alternating between rows 3 and 4 until you get 13 crisscross rows. We have 1, 2 so far, and then after you get that 13th crisscross row, you're going to do one more final row of single crochet in this color, and then we're going to change to the white. I'll see you there. So I've completed my 13 rows of the crisscross. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then I did one more row of the single crochet. And then I changed colors and I did 1, 2, 3 crisscross rows of the white. You guys know how to change colors if you watched the first part, so I didn't show it. This time when you end with the white, you don't end with the row of single crochet, you end with the crisscross. Once you put that final double crochet into the final single crochet of the row, chain 1, cut your work, and fasten off like that. So we're going to weave in this tail just to get it out of the way so it won't be in the way when we're doing things later. You'll see what I mean. One direction, do some stitches that way. If you stretch your work out, reshape it back to its original form, and then taking a slightly different path in the other direction, and then you can cut your yarn down. Okay, so that's that. This is the beginning. What we're going to do now, you guys, is fold this up like this. Okay, you can weave this tail in as well. So this is how we started, right? The tail is on the left side. We just fold this up like this. Okay, and we're going to start the maroon color here. Okay, this way. So we'll grab our yarn. insert your crochet hook into the corner there, and we want to maintain 6 stitches, so you can just pull it through like that and then tie a knot, or 2, 1. Usually when I say tie a knot, it means 2. Okay, now it's attached. We're going to insert our crochet hook back in there, yarn over, pull through to the front so that we have a loop now, and then we'll chain 1. And now, you guys, what we're going to do, chain another one. Okay, so that's 2 chains, and that counts for the first stitch. And now we're going to start the crisscross again. Right now we're working in these bottom loops of those double crochets there. So yarn over, skip 1, go into 2 like that, make your double crochet, and then yarn over and go back into 1, the one that you skipped, like that. Okay, we'll do it again. Yarn over, skip 1, go into 2, and you might have to kind of fudge things a little bit because this is not an exact science here when we're picking up stitches here. Okay, and then yarn over and go into 1. You'll see what I mean. Alright, and now just kind of find a corner there, the corner there, and put a double crochet so that you maintain your 6 stitches. So technically you're kind of going into a stitch that you already used for the crisscross, but it's okay. Okay, so now that we have that, we're going to continue as normal. So we'll chain 1, turn our work, and you guys remember after the row of crisscross we have the row of single crochet. So I chain 1, go in there and just put a single crochet, and now I put a single crochet into every stitch across. So that's 3, 4, 5, and then go into the second chain up, 1, 2, and that's the 6 single crochet. Okay, now I chain 1, 2 because I go back to the crisscross row, turn my work, and I continue as normal. Yarn over. Remember that chain 2 counts for that single crochet right there. So I skip 1, go into 2, make my crisscross. Now I'll go back into 1. I yarn over, skip 1, go into 2. Now I put my double crochet in 1 for the crisscross, and then I just put a regular double crochet into the final single crochet. All the double crochets are regular double crochets, but when I say regular, I mean it's not a part of the crisscross. Okay, now I'm going to do one more row of regular single crochet. So chain 1, turn your work, put a single crochet, the same first stitch where that chain 1 is, and then 1 in every stitch across for a total of 6 stitches. This is 4, that's 5, and then in the second chain up, that's your 6. 6 single crochet. Okay, now we'll chain 1, and we're gonna cut our yarn, and then fasten off, and we will weave these 2 tails in. I've shown you how to weave these tails. Weave this one into the blue and these 2 into the maroon. I'll check back in after that is done. Just so you can orient yourself, this is where we started. We tied a knot, secured it, chain 2, and then started working. Okay, and then we ended with a row of single crochet. Now you guys might be wondering, why did I start crocheting with the blue, then white, and it ended there, only to come back to this way and start crocheting this way? Well, I wanted it to be such that the design is consistent and it's on the beautiful side, the crisscross stitches, when I fold it up. So you'll see we're looking right here at the front of the crisscross stitches like this, and then I wanted it to be that way when we fold it over, because this is going to be our pencil, pen, whatever case. Okay, so if I take a pen, I put it in here, it's going to be like that, and then that's going to be the flap over it. Okay, so that's why I did that weird sort of crochet, 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 and then stop crocheting and then reattach yarn somewhere else. Okay, so before we connect this together, we're going to add the button here that we're going to use. Remember this button at the beginning? Okay, so I'm going to take this out, and I don't want to use red yarn. That was for the other one. I instead am going to use white yarn to put into the button. Okay, so let me grab my white yarn. Oh, if only you guys were aware of the challenges of trying to record a video. Well, the part that I just recorded got corrupted or was lost, so I, in that part, showed you how to add a button, and instead of taking this out and redoing it, I decided to just add a second button. Okay, so one thing to note is that I tried to work through that the second row from the top. So the top row is the row of crisscross, and then under that is obviously the row of single crochet. The reason is you have more stitches where you can work your yarn through. Okay, so I have the white. I have it on this smaller Yarn Weaving Tapestry needle. Once again, make sure before you start your needle can actually fit through the buttons, okay, because that would be a huge problem. Okay, I left this much tail, and now I'm going to work through this row of single crochet. Okay, so I'll put the button in that area, and then from the back I'll just go through that row of single crochet coming out of one side. I'm not going to pull the yarn all the way through because I want to tie a knot on the back side, and then I'll just go through another hole, still going through single crochet, the row of single crochet, and pulling it back like that. Make sure your button is how you want it to be before you tie this first knot on the back side. So I'm going to tie one knot. Make sure the button is positioned the way I want it to be. It is, and now I'll tie the second knot. And I'll cut this yarn down because I don't need that tail. Now I can commence to further securing the button by working through the different holes. So from the back, going through the row of single crochet, which is that row, go through an unused hole like that, and then go across, going back out to the back like that. And now I can just go through these holes however I want, how many ever times I want, okay, until I feel like my button is secure. Alright, once I'm happy with it, I feel secure, I'm going to end on the back side, and then I'll just go through some stitches. This part is kind of superfluous. It's not really necessary, but just show you your options. You can just weave the yarn in through some stitches just to further secure that tail before you cut your yarn. Okay, so just go through, weaving in like normal. You already know that part, and then cut it down. And there you go. A nice second button. It wasn't supposed to have two, but hey, you got two. Now you guys, it's time to connect this. So as you see, I grab a pen, put that in there, fold it up, and then this will go over. I'm going to use the row of crisscross where there's more space to fasten onto the button. Okay, could use that one. Or now that I have two buttons, maybe I have a shorter pin, I don't need that much depth, I can go down to the second one and secure it like that. Okay. Either way, I'm going to secure the sides now, starting with where the white starts and crocheting together all the way to the other side where the white ends there. Okay, and I'm going to do that in my maroon color. So let's take this, let's unfasten that, line it up. I'll line it up so that it can go to the bottom button, but it also can go to the top, and I'll just have the extra room up there. Okay, so I'll line it up such that it goes to as far down as it needs to, and it'll be a more snug fit. That's how I'm going to line it up. Okay, which means my white will be there. Now I'm going to take my, I just lost it, my maroon color yarn. I guess I can insert my crochet hook. So I'll insert it in that corner of the white, okay, and then the corresponding side of the blue. And now I'm going to go grab that maroon yarn that I just lost. Okay, I have my yarn. I'll hook it onto the hook, pulling through, creating a loop and having a tail to the back. And now I'm going to chain 1 like that. And in that same place where I just went in, I'm going to reinsert my crochet hook there and make a single crochet. You guys know I like to crochet over my tails whenever possible so I don't have to weave them in later. So I'm going to lie that on top. Now I'm going to yarn over, pull through to the front for 2 loops, 1, 2, and then yarn over and go through 2 for the single crochet. Okay. And now I'm just going to go in on one side and then find the corresponding area on the other side. On the edge, anywhere on the edge, put the tail on top to crochet over it, yarn over, pull through to the front, and then make a single crochet. And you can place your single crochets however you want. Just make sure you're going through both sides. This side and then also the other side, putting the tail on top, yarning over for 2 loops, keeping that tail under, and then single crochet. So you're going to continue putting a single crochet all the way around. I'll meet you though once we get back down there because we're going to do something a little bit different here. So I'm almost down to the bottom, just going in on both sides. Now I'm in that corner. Remember, whenever you're in a corner you need to round it, you usually put more of the stitch that you're making in there so it can round. So we're going to put another one in that same place and then 1 more in the same corner. So we have 3 single crochets in that corner, and that causes it to curve around. Now down here you're just gonna go in like that. Okay, it's not really you're kind of going around a stitch, but just go in and then out on the other side like that, and put your single crochets wherever you can get in. Make sure that you're putting enough so that it's not I keep thinking bulk so that it's not bunching up on you, you know. Alright, now we're in this corner, so we're going to put 3 in there. So just go in there wherever you can. Make sure you're getting the stitches of both panels, this one and the back one. Okay, so 1 back in there for 2. And 1 more time back in there for 3. And now we've successfully rounded that corner. And now you guys, we're just going to continue connecting all the way up to the white there. Okay, so I'll meet you there. Almost done. I'm going to go and put 1 into the chain 2 space, and then I'm going to put 1 into that top chain to kind of square it off. So here, find it over there, without splitting your yarn, of course. That. And now I'm going to go into that top chain, that chain 2 to square it off, square off the corner, and just go into the blue on the other side. Okay, and now we have our border, which matches this flap there. Okay, now you can create a little strap, a strap that is not super long, but long enough to fit around your wrist or to hold in a finger. That is all dependent on you. I'm going to pull this through like that so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I don't have a certain number of chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Obviously that's really small, so that's really just for a finger. Okay, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's see. I kind of like that. 5. So 25 chains roughly. Okay. Once you crochet your final chain, slip stitch into the first single crochet there, or the chain 1, wherever you want. Okay, like that. I just put a slip stitch. I sliced the icing off the top of the single crochet and slip stitch. Now chain one, cut your yarn, fasten off, and then you can weave this tail in. I'm just gonna weave this tail in through on the back side through the single crochets that I just made as the border. Going in one direction. If I distort my work, I reshape it back to its original form, and then taking a slightly different path going in the opposite direction. And then after that, after I've reshaped it, I'll cut this excess down. And there you go, guys. This is what you have. Okay? Any other things that are sticking out like that from where you've woven in tails, just cut it down so it's not an eyesore. Okay, but yeah, this is your pen holder. Let me zoom out a bit so you can kind of see. Yeah, so just unbutton it. Remember to use the rows of crisscross. Then you can insert your pen, what have you, that, and you can carry it. So this is your back to school pen holder using the crisscross stitch, and it matches very nicely with this pouch. Isn't that beautiful? Alright, we got one more to make. Let's make the butterfly. See you in the next clip. So to make the butterfly, we'll start out by making a slip knot. Wrap it around your finger, twist, exchange. Wrap it around your finger that way. Pull this one over that one and off your finger while lifting up on the one on your finger. Insert your crochet hook and then pull to tighten. We are going to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to slip stitch back into that first chain there. Okay? Let's go all the way back to the first chain. Just go in there and yarn over and pull all the way through 1 and through 2. Now we've connected the chains and formed a ring. So now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And in this ring we're going to put a double crochet. So we'll yarn over, go into the ring, and make a double crochet like that. Pull into the front for 3 loops, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. And now we're going to chain 2. Now we're going to do the next 2 things 7 times. Okay? You're like, the next 2 things 7 times. Well, the first of the next 2 things is to put 2 double crochet into the ring. So go into the ring, make a double crochet. I'm crocheting over this tail, by the way. Yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2. Yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2. Yarn over, go back into the ring for a second double crochet. Okay. So that's the first of the 2 things that we're going to do 7 times. And then the second thing of the 2 that we're going to do is chain 2. 1, 2. So the 2 double crochets in the chain 2, that counts as 1 time. Let's do it again. 2 double crochet. 1 double crochet. The second double crochet. Chain 1, chain 2. Alright, so now we've done it a second time, that grouping. So we have 5 more times to do this. You do it and I'll meet you once I'm done with my 7 times. Alright, pop back on just so you can see how I'm doing it. So I've completed 5. Now I'm about to start 6. 2 double crochet, chain 2. That's the 6th one, and then the 7th one I'm starting now. 2 double crochet, chain 2, and that's my 7th. So you'll have something like this. Now you're going to have to scoot this over a little bit to see that initial chain 3. We're going to slip stitch into the top chain. 1, 2, 3. So just slip stitch in that 3rd chain up. Now you guys, we're going to change colors. So grab your next color. I have my white. I'm going to hook it on and pull it through the loop, and then I'm going to pull on the blue so that this blue loop that I was using disappears. And then I'm going to tug on the white at the same time and go back and forth until I have the right size loop on my hook and the blue loop is no longer there. Now I'm going to tie a couple of knots before cutting the blue yarn. 1, 2, I'll line the white up with the blue, and then I'll cut my yarn. Alright, I'm done with the blue. I suggest you guys crochet over these tails so you don't have to weave them in. Okay, so now we're going to chain 1, and in every chain 2 space we're going to put 6 double crochet. So this is the first chain 2 space that we get to from there, right? This is it. So in there we're going to put 6 double crochet. I'm going to line my tails up on top because I'm going to crochet over them, so I don't have to weave them in later, and I'm going to start my double crochet. So go into chain 2 space, yarn over, pull through to the front for 3 loops, and make your double crochet. Now I need to put 5 more in there. So this is 2. You guys can slow this down on YouTube if I'm moving too fast. That's 3. Back in there. That's 4. Back in there. That's 5. And then back in there. And that's 6. Okay. Now we're at these 2 double crochets. Remember the 2 double crochets in that pattern. We're going to go in between them and we're going to slip stitch. So just split the double crochets, go in and slip stitch. So yarn over, pull all the way through. And now we're at a chain 2 space again, and we're going to put 6 double crochet. So yarn over, go into the chain 2 space and put your 6 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're at the double crochet, so we go in between, just go in between the bodies and slip stitch. So you're going to put 6 double crochet in every chain 2 space and slip stitch in between the 2 double crochets all the way around. I'll meet you once we get there. I'm almost back around. I'm at the 2 double crochet. I'm going to split them and put my slip stitch. And now I'm at my final chain 2 space, so I'm going to put my 6 double crochet in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now here where I slip stitched in that 3rd chain up, I'm just going to go in there again and slip stitch to connect everything. Okay. If you haven't been crocheting over your tails, weave them in now. Okay. And for those of you who are curious, you know how in the previous round we had groupings of 2 basically? You should have 8 of those. So this is the chain 3, and then it was 1 double crochet. That counts as 1. Now we started the 7 times that pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you're wondering how many petals you should have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 as well. Okay. Alright, now we're going to switch colors one more time. We're going to go to the maroon. As before, we're going to hook the new color on and pull it through the loop. Then we're going to turn it over and we're going to pull on the current color, in this case white, so that that loop disappears. Okay. And once we get the hook, the loop on the hook, the right size, and the white loop disappears, then we can tie a couple of knots. Okay, so 1 and then 2. And now we're going to cut our yarn down. Alright, so we're done with the white now. And now we're working with our final color. You can take this time to weave in this white tail And by the way, since it's a shorter tail, I'm just going to go through where I want the white to go. I'm going to put my darning weaving tapestry needle in it like that first, and now I'm going to yarn the needle. When I say yarn, that's, you know, normally we would say thread the needle, but we're working with yarn now, so I'm saying yarn the needle. So get it in there. I could have made it a little bit longer, so I wouldn't have had to do this, but this is a nice trick. Alright, and then I'll pull it through like that, and then cut that down. You want to get rid of these tails as soon as possible so you don't have to worry about them later. Here's a little bit of excess when I crocheted over before, so I'm going to cut those down now. Alright, so I have this, and this tail I'll cut down a little bit later. So now you guys, I'm going to make this a little bit big right now. We're going to chain a certain number of chains, but before we do that, we want to basically fold this over. So this is in this corner. You want to fold it over such that this, where you're at, is in the center, and you want to have it fold over so you have these two meeting like that, these two meeting like that, these two meeting like that, and those two meeting like that. Okay? So once you folded it over, you can reinsert your crochet hook. Make sure you're nice and centered. And now we're going to chain how many ever chains it takes to get us around this way. Okay? Or I should say, to get us around this way. So right now we're on this side. We're going to crochet a certain number of chains to get us around to this panel that we're currently not attached to. Okay? So I'm going to rotate my work like this, and then I'm going to start chaining. Okay, so it should get wider as you go. Your butterfly is getting wider as you go to the top. That's how you know you're in the right direction. Alright, so let's start chaining. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. For me it was 9. That was the magic number. Okay, so I fold it, I'm at the bottom, it gets wider as I go to the top, so that's the correct placement. I'm in the right direction, and now I'm just going to wrap this around about the center like this. Okay, I'll move that yarn to the back like that, and it's perfect. It gets me where I need to be. Now I'm going to go in the center and I'm going to slip stitch. Okay, so before I do that, I'm going to make sure my yarn is to the back, so just put it to the back out of the way. And I'm going to slip stitch in that center point like this, yarn over, and then pull all the way through like that. And then you'll have this. Okay, if you want it to be tighter, you can do chain 8. So I'm going to take out 1 and then slip stitch. It also depends on how tightly you're chaining, how strong your tension is. Okay. All right. That's basically the body of the mariposa, the butterfly. Okay. So once you've done that, we're going to chain 1 and cut our yarn, and then fasten off. Okay, like that. And now we have the body. Okay, so whatever works for you, 8, 9, 10, how many ever chains it takes. Alright, I have these 2 tails wherever 2 or more are gathered. That's my saying. So I'm just going to tie a couple of knots to bring them together. 1, 2, like that, and then I'm gonna wrap them around, going, this is extra, you don't have to do this, but since I have the tails, I'm gonna make the most of it. I'm gonna go bring that one that way, and then bring the other one to the other side like that, and then tie a couple of more knots, and then I'll cut them down because I feel like they're definitely secure. So 1, and then I'm going to tie the second knot down below so that the tails tend on the inside, and then when I cut, it won't be an eyesore too. Alright, now I'll cut these down. tie whatever knots however you want them to be is fine. Alright, so now we need to make some antennas, and then we'll be done. So you're going to take, you want it to be the same color as the body, so I'll take this maroon color as I grab the blue. So funny. I'll take the maroon color and I'll just cut a little piece. It'll be longer than what I need at first. So this is a trick that my grandmother showed me for crochet and in sewing. You just grab the tail, wrap it around your finger like that, and then you just start to roll like that. Roll it off your finger, and then you grab here, I don't know if you guys can see this, and then you just pull, and it creates a knot on the end like that. Okay. Do the same thing on this side. Wrap it like that so it's overlapping a little bit, and then roll it a few times before you let it go off your finger like that, and then grab with this one and then pull down, and it creates a knot. Alright, so this is a super long antenna. We're gonna leave it though for now. You can make it shorter if you want. So what you're gonna do is put it there, and then you will just go under that braid, under those chains, hook it on, and pull one side to the other. And then when you pull it up, your butterfly will have antennas. Okay, like that. Normally you can make it a little bit shorter, okay, just because the longer it is, the more it's gonna hang because of the weight. So yeah, it's fine though. And if there's a little extra excess there, you can always cut that down. Alright, the final part of this will be to make it attachable to a pin, or it can even be a ring. So on this side, we're going to turn it over there, and we're going to put a ring not just behind this chain. We want it to be more secure. So see these double crochets on either side? We're going to wrap it around all that right there. So we're going to chain. I'm going to use the white yarn this time, and we're going to chain. It has worked out for me that chaining 4 plus one more, so chaining 5 and then cutting a yarn works well for the pin sizes that I have. So just make another slip knot, and then we're going to chain 5 and then cut our yarn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're making a ring you want to fit on your finger, you need to chain more. Okay, so now we'll cut our yarn, fasten off, and we're left with 4 chains. So now we want to follow that same path that this darning weaving tapestry needle has followed. Okay, so what you can do is just kind of lay it on top, put your crochet needle through the same area, and then just grab one of these sides and pull that yarn through to the other side like that. Easy enough, right? We don't need this darning weaving tapestry needle anymore. And now with these tails, we can tie a knot down to where the chains start and end. So 1 like that, and then 2. Okay. And then we will cut these tails down kind of short, and then you'll rotate the series of chains, that braid, so that those tails are on the inside and it's not an eyesore. And now we have something, a loop basically, a ring where we can attach a pin. How cool is that? And that's exactly what I did with this one. Okay, so you'll be able to write, it's like a pin topper. Okay, so let me take this one off. So you always want to factor in the girth of your pin, or if you're going to make it as a ring, you make a bigger loop and then slide it on. Let's see if it'll fit. Even my pinky finger is, the girth is too big, but yeah, it could serve as a ring for the kiddies that like to have something like that. So you would chain more for your finger, or less for this one. I need to tie another one. I'll make it. I broke it. I'll make a bigger one and show you the ring. But for now, with the pen, I like to just fit it on like this. You can have it go over that or under. I like under because it's more secure. I know that if it slides down, it won't go all the way down past that point because of that. And yeah, just start writing with your butterfly topper. Isn't that cool? All right, let me create a loop for the ring, and then I will let you go because the series has been quite long. Alright guys, so here you have your collection of fun back to school crochet items, crochet things that you can make using different colors, using the crisscross stitch. Yeah, you could use these colors or your own, colors to make a little bag that you can close like that. Just put stuff in it. You can make a one button pencil holder. You can stick let's imagine this crochet hook is a pencil or pen, and then they can carry it with this strap. So cool. You can make butterflies. You can do it in these colors or some other colors. Make a butterfly pen or pencil topper, whatever you want it to go on. It can be used as a ring. Just make the loop bigger on the back so it fits. Very cool. And then once again, this little baggie that you can close and open, and then in this case a 2 button, because my footage was corrupted, a 2 button pen holder, okay, with a strap as well that you can wear around your wrist or whatever, wherever you want to carry it. So yeah, hopefully this video has given you guys some ideas, and yeah, hopefully you will make your loved ones some fun back to school items, or if you crochet things for charity for kids, yeah, maybe you can make some of these. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. That is going to be it for this one, but I'll see you in the next one. In the meantime, happy crocheting.